Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital Friday, September 27 recap. Brennan pulls off 4 escapes. Lucky phones Liz and Sidwell's revenge. General Hospital, GH, spoilers recap for Friday, September 27, reveals that Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson, and Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, assumed they were about to face Tracy Quartermaines, Jane Elliott, Fury again, but she apologized for her brunch overreaction and called them a lovely couple. At the Metro Court, Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, wasn't happy about having to go on a fake date with Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, especially when she was awaiting updates on Jason Morgan's, Steve Furton, dangerous mission. Sonny ended up speaking with Martin Gray, Michael E. Knight, nearby to offer a reminder about his expectations. Martin didn't share his legal strategy, but he did make it clear that he'd do whatever it took to help Alexis Davis, Nancy Legron. Carly eventually gave Sonny a kiss on the cheek before heading off to get news from Jack Brennan, Charles, Missouri. Meanwhile, Natalia Ramirez, Eva LaRue, was curious about whatever was going on between Sonny and Carly. Lucy Coe, Lynn Herring, gave Natalia a brief history lesson before Sonny interrupted. Once Sonny joined Natalia and faced Carly questions, Diane Miller, Carolyn Hennessy, dragged him off to scold him since he could be ruining his alibi. Sonny made a prediction that Carly wouldn't let him down, so Diane hoped he was right about that. After Sonny reconvened with Natalia, he let her know that he wasn't romantically involved with any of his former flames. That said, Carly would always be in Sonny's life. Back with Lucy, she made a move in hopes of rekindling things with Martin following their split, but he still wanted nothing to do with her after the Scott Baldwin, Kin Shriner fiasco. In Brennan's office, he decided to move forward with a drone strike to help Jason, Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, and Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, escape. Brennan didn't have the authority and could be tried for war crimes if he got caught, but he did what he had to do. When Carly arrived, she got the drone strike news and learned there'd be a private jet waiting once Lucky, Jason, and Anna fled the compound. However, Brennan said he'd done all he could, and the 3 of them would have to get to the plane on their own. While Brennan and Carly watched satellite images, Lucky and Holly Sutton, Emma Sams, tackled their Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda, problem at the camp. Sidwell held a knife to Holly's side once Lucky got control of the gun. Lucky started to lower the weapon, but then Holly stomped on Sidwell's foot and ran. Jason and Anna also tried to fight guards off following their kiss, but they were ultimately led outside in preparation for their grim fates. Fortunately, the drone strike caused an explosion and sent the mercenaries running off to save themselves. Lucky was able to flee from Sidwell and met up with Anna along with Jason, but they didn't know where Holly went. Suddenly, Holly pulled up in a stolen Jeep and drove them to the private jet. Once Brennan received word that Lucky, Anna, and Jason were safely in international airspace with a 4th passenger, he filled Carly in. Carly was relieved and fell into Brennan's arms. Unfortunately, Holly stole Sidwell's diamond and had it in her bag, so vengeful Sidwell was determined to find her and get it back. Finally, Anna gave Lucky the Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens, liver details, and explained why he might be her last hope of survival. Lucky made a phone call to GH and was stunned with Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst answered. General Hospital spoilers say Lucky will do whatever he can to save Lulu's life, so stay tuned. The tension in Port Charles hit a fever pitch on Friday, September 27, with Brennan outmaneuvering law enforcement at every turn. A surprise call from Lucky to Elizabeth shaking up old feelings, and Sidwell finally making his move for revenge. The day started at dawn with a shot of the sun rising over the city as Detective Dante Falconeri paced around the station, his nerves visibly frayed. Brennan's brazen jailbreak earlier in the week had put everyone on edge, but no one was expecting what would unfold over the next 24 hours. Dante, still running on caffeine and fumes, eyed the board of escape routes, each more far-fetched than the last. It was clear Brennan had help from the inside, but from whom? "Who is this guy?" Danton muttered to himself. His fingers traced a red line across a map that circled around the Metro Court Hotel. Brennan had gone underground, figuratively and literally, but somehow always managed to resurface. We catch him here, he's gone. We catch him again, and then poof. Anna Devane entered the room with a determined stride, pulling Dante from his spiraling thoughts. "He's not invincible, Dante," she said, eyes locked on the map. "But he's not far from it either." Meanwhile, in an undisclosed location, Brennan was on his fourth escape since breaking out of custody. His latest stunt was pulled off in broad daylight, and it was nothing short of audacious. He'd managed to pose as a doctor at General Hospital and walk straight through the front doors without so much as a sideways glance from security. Now holed up in a high-rise overlooking the waterfront, Brennan smirked as he watched the chaos unfold below through a pair of binoculars. "What's your next move, Port Charles?" he whispered to himself, slipping on a pair of leather gloves. His hand brushed over the steel briefcase by his side, the one containing information that could bring the city to its knees. But Brennan had no intention of using it, at least not yet. There were bigger plans in motion. Back at GH, Elizabeth Weber received a call that sent her world spinning. Lucky Spencer, her long-lost love, was finally reaching out after years of silence. She stood frozen in the nurse's station, her hand shaking as she held the phone to her ear. "Liz, it's me." Lucky's voice was soft but filled with a mixture of guilt and regret. "I need to talk to you." "Lucky." Elizabeth's heart raced as she stepped away from the bustling chaos of the hospital. "What's going on? Why now?" I can't explain everything over the phone," Lucky said, his voice faltering. "But I need you to know that I'm back, and I'm going to fix this." Fix what? That was the question burning through Elizabeth's mind. Was he talking about their broken relationship, the sons they shared, or was it something far deeper, something tied to his years of absence? "Where are you?" Elizabeth demanded, her voice rising. But the call was abruptly cut off, leaving her staring at her phone in disbelief. In the background, the emergency alert system blared across the hospital. News of Brennan's latest escape had just broken. Elizabeth's personal turmoil had to take a backseat, at least for the moment. But across town, there was someone else who wasn't willing to let things slide any longer. Sidwell, a name whispered in the shadows of Port Charles for months, finally stepped into the spotlight. Sidwell had been working behind the scenes, orchestrating his revenge against the very people who had wronged him, particularly Valentin Cassadine. His plan, long in the making, was about to be set into motion. Valentin's arrogance had blinded him to the fact that a man like Sidwell never forgets, and certainly never forgives. In a dimly lit room, Sidwell leaned back in his chair, watching footage of Brennan's escape on a loop. 4 times, he mused, a dangerous gleam in his eye. 4 escapes, and they still can't catch him. He picked up a burner phone and dialed a number, his voice calm and calculated as it always was. "It's time. Start with Phase 1. On the other end of the line, his contact acknowledged the order with a simple, "Understood." As Sidwell hung up, his mind raced through the possibilities. Brennan was useful, but disposable. Valentin was the real prize, and taking him down required precision, patience, and ruthlessness. Sidwell had all three in abundance. The scene shifted back to Valentine, completely unaware of the storm brewing around him. He sat at the Metro Court, sipping his favorite drink, still reveling in his latest business victory. But the clock was ticking for Valentine, and soon Sidwell's revenge would strike in the most unexpected way. Elsewhere, Finn caught wind of Elizabeth's mysterious phone call with Lucky. Concerned for his friend, he approached her later in the day, noticing the worry etched on her face. "Liz, are you okay? You've seemed distracted all day." Elizabeth hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. She didn't want to get her hopes up, nor did she want to drag Finn into her complicated history with Lucky. "It's just something personal. Someone from my past reached out." "Lucky?" Finn guessed, his eyes filled with understanding. Elizabeth nodded, biting her lip. "Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. He's been gone for so long, and now out of nowhere." "Maybe it's not as random as it seems," Finn suggested, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You never know with Lucky. He's got his reasons for everything." As the day turned into night, Brennan remained one step ahead. Sidwell's revenge inched closer, and Lucky's unexpected phone call left Elizabeth grappling with a flood of emotions. Port Charles was a city on the edge. The tangled web of secrets, betrayals, and schemes was tightening, and the fallout was only just beginning. By the end of the episode, one thing was certain: no one was safe, and everyone had something to lose.